Be me. 32. Sunlight hitting the skyline from my loft. Life feels kinda cinematic, not gonna lie. Work as a senior project coordinator at a tech company, make decent money, have my own place, drive a newish car. Single by choice, obviously. Haven't met anyone who meets my standards. And why should I settle? I've worked hard to get where I am. Spent my 20s building my career, while everyone else was pairing off into mediocre relationships. I watched so many smart women I knew just completely lose themselves in relationships with men who didn't appreciate them. Not me, though. I know my worth. This particular day, I'm at my favorite coffee shop, the one with the good Wi-Fi and the ethical sourcing. I come here every Saturday morning, have my spot by the window. Usually spend a few hours catching up on work emails and browsing articles. There's this guy who works here, maybe mid-30s, always behind the counter. Seen him dozens of times, never really paid attention. Average height, average build, probably makes minimum wage or close to it. Today the place is packed, every table taken. I'm settled in my usual spot with my laptop and my oat milk latte. Been here for maybe 2 hours, finished my coffee ages ago. Place is still completely full, people waiting for tables. I notice the barista guy, the regular one, keeps glancing over at me, probably wondering if I'm going to order anything else. I have as much right to be here as anyone. I bought a coffee. Not my fault, they don't have enough seating. He walks over to my table with a rag, starts wiping down the empty chair across from me. Hey, just checking in. Can I get you anything else? I don't even look up from my laptop. I'm good, thanks. Expect him to walk away, but he just stands there. It's just that we have a pretty long wait for tables right now, and you've been here a while. Now I look up. I bought a coffee. Am I not allowed to sit here? He does this awkward smile thing. No, of course you are. It's just that we have a lot of customers waiting, and you finished your drink a while ago. I can feel my blood pressure rising. So you're policing how long paying customers can stay? Is this a new policy? No, no policy. Just being mindful of other customers. I see. And are you going to ask those guys over there the same thing? Gesture to a table with 2 men who also have empty cups. He glances over. Yeah, actually I was planning to make rounds. Sure you were. He looks uncomfortable, which, good. Look, I didn't mean to upset you, just doing my job. Your job is to make coffee, not harass customers. He nods slowly and walks away. I feel vindicated, but also annoyed that my concentration is broken. Notice over the next 20 minutes he does actually talk to other tables. But still, he came to me first. Anyway, I end up staying another hour, just on principle. This becomes a thing now. I notice him more. His name is David. I hear the other staff call him that. He's there most Saturdays, usually takes the morning shift. Seems to know a lot of the regulars by name. Does that friendly small talk thing that service workers do? Watching him over the next few weeks, I start to notice things. He's actually pretty good at his job, efficient, remembers orders. But there's something about him that bugs me. Maybe it's the way he seems so content doing something so basic. He's in his 30s and he's a barista. No ambition, no drive to be anything more. Typical, really. Men can just coast through life on mediocrity. If a woman in her 30s was working as a barista, people would judge her so harshly. But men get to just exist at any level, and no one questions it. One Saturday, I'm there, and I overhear him talking to a customer. They're discussing some book, something about philosophy. He's surprisingly articulate, making these points about existentialism or whatever. Would never have pegged him as someone who reads. The customer seems impressed. They talk for a few minutes. After the customer leaves, I find myself wondering about him. What's his deal? Why is he working here? None of my business, really, but it's curious. The next time I come in, I actually look at him when he takes my order. Oat milk latte, right? He says before I can order. He remembers my drink. That's right. You changed it up a few weeks ago. You used to get almond milk. He noticed that. Oat milk is more sustainable. Yeah, I've been reading about that. The water usage for almonds is pretty intense. He's trying to engage me in conversation. I nod and wait for my drink. Don't need to encourage this. But over the following weeks, I start to pay more attention when I'm there. He's always reading between customers. Actual books, not his phone. I catch titles, philosophy, history, some literature. One day, he's reading a book I recognize, something about urban planning and social theory. I've read it, had to reference it for a work presentation once. It's not light reading. Find myself reassessing slightly. Maybe he's not as simple as I thought. Maybe he's one of those underemployed people, couldn't find work in his field. Happens a lot, especially to people without connections. Although, if he was really smart, he'd have networked better. That's what I did. That's why I'm where I am. Still, I start to see him as slightly more interesting. Not interesting in that way, obviously. Just more three-dimensional than the average service worker. Then one Saturday, something changes. I come in, and there's a new girl working the counter with him. She's young, maybe early 20s, very pretty in that conventional way. Long hair, big smile, giggly. She keeps laughing at everything David says. He's training her, apparently. I watch them while I wait for my drink. She's definitely flirting, touching his arm, leaning in close. He's being friendly but professional from what I can see. My drink takes forever because they're understaffed. I sit at my table and try to work, but I keep noticing their interaction. The way she looks at him, like he's so fascinating. He's a barista. What's fascinating about that? She probably thinks he's some kind of catch. Young women have such low standards, it's depressing. They don't understand that you can't build a life with someone who has no ambition. I would know. I've seen it destroy so many of my friends. They settle for these underachieving men and then wonder why they end up doing all the emotional labor. Over the next few weeks, the new girl is there regularly. Her name is Sophie, always so bubbly and energetic. David seems to enjoy working with her. They have an easy rapport. It shouldn't bother me, but it does, slightly. Not because I'm interested in him, just because it's another example of how men can offer so little and still be seen as desirable. He makes coffee for a living, and this girl looks at him like he hung the moon. Meanwhile, I've worked my ass off for years, and men my age are all trying to date women in their 20s. The dating apps are a wasteland. Every man my age wants someone younger, less successful, less challenging. They can't handle a woman who's their equal. I've been on so many dates with men who seemed initially interesting, but then they can't handle that I make more money. Or they feel emasculated, that I own my place and they rent. Or they think I'm too opinionated because I actually have thoughts about things. One guy literally told me I was a lot. I'm not a lot. I'm just not dimming my light for anyone. Anyway, back to the coffee shop. It's now been months of me coming here every Saturday. I know David's schedule, know his co-workers, have the whole dynamic mapped out. I've started to have this internal narrative about him. He represents everything that's wrong with how society treats men versus women. He gets to be average and still be treated well. If I performed at his level, I'd be considered a failure. But somehow, he seems perfectly happy. And that bothers me more than it should. One Saturday, I come in and Sophie is crying in the back. I can see her through the doorway, David talking to her quietly. He has his hand on her shoulder, very gentle. She's nodding, wiping her eyes. He gets her some water, and she sits down. He comes back to the counter alone and continues working. Handles the rush by himself without seeming stressed. I find myself wondering what happened. When Sophie comes back out, her eyes are red, but she's smiling. She says something to David, and he squeezes her shoulder. It's a caring gesture, almost paternal, even though he's not that much older. I realize he's probably a good guy in that way men get credit for basic decency. Women are expected to be nurturing and empathetic. That's just baseline. Men do one kind thing, and everyone acts like they're exceptional. Still, I notice it. The next week, I come in and make a decision. I'm going to actually talk to him. Not because I'm interested romantically, that would be absurd. We're in completely different leagues. But because I'm curious about him in an anthropological way. He represents something I'm trying to understand about society. When he brings my coffee to my table, I stop him. That book you were reading last week, did you finish it? He seems surprised, I'm asking. Oh yeah, the one about economic theory? I did. What did you think? He lights up a little. Really interesting, actually. Some of it went over my head, but the core argument about how we structure value was compelling. We talk for a few minutes. He's more intelligent than I expected, can hold a real conversation, has actual opinions, not just surface-level observations. When he goes back to work, I feel oddly energized. The next Saturday, I initiate conversation again. This becomes our thing. Brief discussions about books or current events. I tell myself it's just nice to have intellectual stimulation. The men at my work are all so boring, only talk about sports and stocks. David is different. He actually thinks about things, even if he hasn't done anything with his intelligence. One day, he's talking about a documentary he watched about urban inequality. He makes this comment about how city planning perpetuates class division. It's insightful, shows he understands systemic issues. You're pretty well informed for someone who works in coffee, I say. Immediately realize how that sounds. He smiles, but it doesn't reach his eyes. I contain multitudes. It's a Walt Whitman reference. Feel slightly embarrassed, which is not a feeling I'm used to. I didn't mean it like that. It's fine. I know how it looks. There's something in his tone, not defensive exactly, but aware. So, why do you work here then, if you're interested in all this stuff? He shrugs while wiping down the espresso machine. It pays the bills, gives me time for other things. I like the people. But don't you want more? A career? I have a career, just not in the traditional sense. Cryptic, but I don't push it. Over the following weeks, we talk more. I find myself looking forward to Saturdays in a way I didn't before. Tell myself it's just nice to have someone to discuss ideas with. My friends are all busy with their relationships and kids. The ones who are single are tired of talking about dating. David is easy to talk to, asks good questions, actually listens. Men never really listen. They just wait for their turn to talk. But he seems genuinely interested in what I think. One Saturday, I'm having a particularly bad day. I got passed over for a promotion at work. They gave it to a man with less experience. I'm furious, ranting to David about it while he makes my coffee. And the thing is, I know I'm better qualified. Everyone knows it. That's really frustrating. Frustrating? It's discriminatory. This is exactly what women deal with constantly. You're right. The statistics on gender promotion gaps are pretty stark. He gets it. Doesn't try to explain it away or tell me I'm overreacting. You should document everything. Might be worth talking to HR or even a lawyer. He's taking me seriously, treating it like a real problem. Feel validated in a way I rarely do. Thanks for listening. Of course, you deserve better than that. Something shifts in me when he says that. Not like a romantic thing, just recognition that he sees my worth. Start to think maybe David is different from other men. Maybe he's secure enough in himself that he doesn't feel threatened by successful women. The next few weeks I open up more. Tell him about my work frustrations, my difficult family, my struggles with dating. He listens, offers thoughtful responses, never makes it about himself. It's refreshing. I start to wonder why he's single. Someone this emotionally intelligent should be in a relationship. Unless he is, and just doesn't mention it. One day I just ask, "So, are you seeing anyone?" He looks up from the register, surprised. "No, not at the moment. You?" "No, dating is a nightmare." "Yeah, it really is." We share this moment of mutual understanding. Single people in their 30s. It's its own kind of club. "I'm surprised you're single," I say. He laughs. "Why's that?" "I don't know. You're easy to talk to. You listen. You seem emotionally mature. Those qualities are less valued than you'd think." There's a story there, but he doesn't elaborate. Over the next week, I think about that conversation more than I should. Start to see David in a different light. He's not conventionally ambitious, but maybe that's not a bad thing. He seems happy, balanced, content with his life. When did I last feel any of those things? My career is successful, but I'm stressed constantly. Haven't taken a real vacation in years. Most of my relationships are surface level. David has something figured out that I haven't. Maybe there's more than one way to live a good life. This thought is uncomfortable because it challenges everything I believe. I've built my identity on achievement and success. But what if that's not actually the path to fulfillment? No, that's ridiculous. I've worked too hard to start questioning everything now. David is fine for who he is, but we want different things from life. Except I'm not sure what I want anymore. Just know I'm supposed to want career advancement and achievements. The next Saturday, I dress a little nicer than usual. Tell myself it's not for him. Just feeling like putting effort in. When I come in, he notices immediately. "You look nice." Feel a flutter I haven't felt in ages. "Thanks, have a thing later." I don't have a thing. Why did I lie? "Well, have fun." He makes my coffee and we chat briefly. I notice he seems a little distant. Probably my imagination. Sit down to work, but can't concentrate. Keep glancing at the counter, watching him work. He's good with people, patient with the difficult customers, kind to the elderly ones. There's a grace to how he moves through the world. No ego, no performance, just authenticity. When did I last feel authentic? I'm always performing, always aware of how I'm perceived. Making sure I'm asserting myself enough, not being too soft. Maintaining my boundaries, not letting anyone take advantage. It's exhausting. Wonder what it would be like to just exist like David does. Comfortable in his skin, not needing to prove anything. I'm spiraling. This is stupid. He's a barista. I'm a senior coordinator at a tech company. We're not in the same league. If anything, he should be interested in me. I'm the catch here. Successful, independent, own my own place. He probably lives with roommates or in some studio apartment. Not that there's anything wrong with that. But let's be realistic about who brings what to the table. Still, over the next few weeks, I find myself flirting slightly. Nothing obvious, just being a bit warmer, smiling more, asking more personal questions. He's friendly in return, but doesn't really flirt back. Maybe he's intimidated by me. Men often are. They can't handle a woman who's confident and successful. It threatens their masculinity, or whatever. But David doesn't seem like that type. He's always been comfortable with who he is. Maybe he's just not interested. That thought bothers me more than it should. One Saturday, I decide to make a move. Nothing dramatic, just testing the waters. When he brings my coffee, I ask if he ever wants to get coffee sometime. Realize immediately how stupid that sounds. He literally makes coffee for a living. I mean, like, outside of here, socially. He sets down my cup carefully. That's really nice of you to offer, but I don't think that's a good idea. Feel my face flush. Oh, okay, no problem, just thought I'd ask. I'm flattered, really, but I don't think we're looking for the same things. What does that mean? What do you think I'm looking for? He seems uncomfortable now. I just mean, we're in different places in our lives. Because I have a career and you work in a coffee shop? It comes out harsher than I intended. His expression shifts, becomes more guarded. That's part of it, yeah. So you're intimidated by the fact that I'm successful? No, not intimidated. Just aware that you seem to value things that I don't prioritize. Like what? Status, achievement, conventional success markers. Feel defensive now. So, because I have ambition, that's a bad thing? Not bad. Just different from what I want in a partner. And what do you want? He pauses, choosing his words carefully. Someone who's comfortable with themselves, who doesn't need external validation, who values presence over performance. It feels like a direct criticism. I'm comfortable with myself. I'm sure you are. I just don't think we're compatible. Now I'm getting angry. You know what? Forget I asked. I'm sorry if I upset you. You didn't upset me. I'm fine. I'm clearly not fine. He nods and goes back to the counter. Sit at my table fuming. Who does he think he is? I offer him a chance and he turns me down. Me. Someone clearly above his level. And then has the audacity to criticize my values. I'm successful because I work hard, because I don't settle. There's nothing wrong with wanting achievement. He's just comfortable being mediocre. And he acts like that's somehow more enlightened. It's not enlightened, it's lazy. Spend the rest of my time there, angry working. Leave without saying goodbye. The next week, I don't go back. Tell myself I'm finding a new coffee shop. There are plenty of options. But I miss my routine. Miss the spot by the window. Fine. I miss talking to David, even though he rejected me. Even though he implied I'm not comfortable with myself. I am comfortable with myself. I know exactly who I am and what I want. Don't need some barista psychoanalyzing me. But his words keep echoing. Values presence over performance. Doesn't need external validation. Is that really how he sees me? As someone performing, needing validation. I think about my life with fresh eyes. The long hours at work, chasing promotions. The carefully curated social media showing my best life. The constant comparison with others. The need to prove I made the right choices. Maybe he had a point. No, this is ridiculous. He rejected me, and now I'm questioning my entire life. Classic manipulation tactic. Men do this. Make women feel like something's wrong with them. So they have the power. David is just like all the others. Probably intimidated by my success and covering with pseudo-philosophical nonsense. I decide to go back the next Saturday. Show him I'm completely unaffected. Walk in like nothing happened. He's at the counter. Sees me come in. Something flickers across his face. Hey, the usual? Yes, please. I'm cool, professional. He makes my drink in silence. When he brings it over, he seems like he wants to say something. But I just thank him and turn to my laptop. He walks away. Over the next hour, I catch him glancing at me a few times. Good. Let him wonder. Let him regret turning me down. Eventually, I pack up to leave. On my way out, I pause at the counter. By the way, I wasn't asking you out because I'm desperate or anything. He looks up, confused. I just thought you were interesting, but clearly I misread the situation. I didn't think you were desperate. You made it pretty clear you think I'm some vapid career woman who doesn't know herself. I never said that. You implied it. He sets down the cup he was holding. I'm sorry if it came across that way. I think you're intelligent and successful, and you should be proud of what you've accomplished. But I don't think we want the same things from life, and that's okay. You don't even know what I want. Maybe not, but from our conversations, it seems like you measure your worth by your achievements. And you measure yours by what, exactly? How little you achieve. It's a low blow. I know it as soon as I say it. His expression hardens. I measure it by how I treat people, by the relationships I build, by whether I'm living according to my values. That's easy to say when you have no responsibilities. You don't know anything about my responsibilities. I know you're a 30-something barista who reads philosophy books and acts enlightened. And you're a 30-something project coordinator who's never satisfied with what she has. The words land like a slap. We stare at each other. Other customers are looking now. You know what? Forget it. I turn and walk out. Hands shaking, heart racing. He doesn't know me. How dare he say I'm never satisfied? I'm satisfied. I'm very satisfied with my life. I've worked hard. I've earned everything I have. If I'm not satisfied, it's because I'm surrounded by mediocrity, by men who can't match my ambition, by a society that punishes women for wanting more. Spend the rest of the weekend fuming, replaying the conversation over and over, thinking of better comebacks, trying to find the flaw in his argument. But his words keep hitting, never satisfied with what she has. Is that true? When did I last feel genuinely happy with where I am? There's always another goal, another milestone, another thing to achieve to prove I made it. No, this is what women have to do. We have to work twice as hard for half the recognition. We can't coast like men can. David gets to be average and call it living authentically. I have to be exceptional just to be taken seriously. That's not my fault. That's society. By Monday, I've convinced myself I was right. He was intimidated and lashed out. Typical, fragile male ego. We can't handle a strong woman, so he tears her down. I'm better off. I don't need someone like that in my life. But I don't go back to the coffee shop. Find a new place closer to my apartment. It's fine. The coffee is fine. Nobody knows my order. Nobody asks about my week. It's better this way, more professional. I can focus on work, which is what I should be doing anyway. Dating and relationships are distractions. I have goals to meet. Except I can't stop thinking about what David said. About measuring worth by achievements. About never being satisfied. About performance versus presence. Hate that he got in my head like this. Hate that some barista made me question myself. I'm the one who should be above this. A few weeks pass. I'm at a work happy hour. Networking. There's a new guy from another department. Good job, well-dressed, confident. We talk. He's clearly interested. Asks for my number. Suggests dinner. I say yes, because why not? The date is fine. He talks about his career mostly. His goals. His 5-year plan. His investment strategy. I contribute my own achievements. We're comparing credentials more than connecting. He suggests a second date. I agree, but feel nothing. This is what dating is now. Two people presenting their resumes, trying to determine if the other person is a good investment. When did it become this? Was it always this, and I didn't notice? Or did I make it this? The second date is more of the same. He's nice enough, successful, has his life together, checks all the boxes. But when he kisses me goodnight, I feel empty. There's no spark, no connection. Just two people going through the motions. I think about David, the way he listened when I talked, how he asked questions like he really wanted to know the answers, the warmth in his eyes when he talked about things he cared about. Stop it, I tell myself. He rejected you. He's working in a coffee shop while you're building a career. You made the right choices. He's the one settling for mediocrity. But the thought rings hollow now. What if his version of success is just different? What if he chose his life deliberately, while I'm just climbing a ladder I never questioned? These thoughts are dangerous. They threaten everything I've built my identity on. I throw myself into work harder, volunteer for extra projects, stay late at the office. My boss notices, says I'm really showing initiative, might be considered for that promotion after all. This is what matters. This is what I've been working toward. So, why do I feel so empty? One Saturday morning, I find myself driving past my old coffee shop. Don't mean to, just happens. I park and sit in my car watching through the window. David is there, laughing with a customer. Sophie is working too. They're busy. He looks happy. Genuinely happy in a way I haven't felt in years. And I realize something that makes my chest tight. He rejected me not because I was too much, but because I wasn't enough. Not in terms of achievement or success, but in terms of being present, being real. He saw through the performance. Saw someone so focused on proving her worth that she forgot to actually live. And he wanted no part of it. The entitled part of me wants to be angry, wants to storm in there and tell him he made a mistake, that he'll regret passing up someone like me. But sitting in my car, watching him smile at strangers, I know the truth. He won't regret it. He's already moved on. Probably never thinks about me at all. While I'm still here, still trying to prove something. To him, to myself, to everyone. I drive away and don't go back. Throw myself into work even harder. Get the promotion eventually. My friends congratulate me. Post about it on social media. Get lots of likes. Feel nothing. Start seeing the successful guy from work. We're good on paper. Everyone says we make sense together. He's already talking about moving in together, making plans for the future. I go along with it because what else is there? This is what success looks like. This is what I worked for. So, why does it feel like losing? Sometimes I think about David. Wonder if he's still at that coffee shop, still reading his books between customers, still content with his small, authentic life, while I have everything I thought I wanted, and nothing that actually matters. He outsmarted me in the end, not by being smarter or more successful, but by knowing what he wanted, and having the courage to say no to anything less. While I'm still saying yes to everything, still performing, still trying to prove I made the right choices, still never quite satisfied. He saw all of this in me, and he walked away. And that's the part that hurts most. Not that he rejected me, but that he was right to. I wasn't offering a relationship. I was offering a chance to validate me, to prove that even a barista could see my worth. And he said, no, thank you. He didn't need to prove anything. He already knew his worth. Still know I'm right about society and double standards. Still know women have it harder. Still believe in everything I fought for. But maybe David was right about one thing. I built a life I can defend, but not one I actually want to live. And I'm too far in now to change course. Too invested in being right. To admit I might have been wrong about what matters. So I'll keep climbing. Keep achieving. Keep proving. And he'll keep making coffee. And being happy. And in the end, he won. Not because he's better, but because he knew when to walk away. And I never learned that lesson. Probably never will. My face when I realized the barista was smarter than me all along. My face when I can't even admit it out loud. My face when I'm going to marry the resume guy and call it success. My face when I'll think about David's words for the rest of my life. My face when I was so busy winning, I forgot to ask what the prize was. My face when the average guy I thought was below me saw exactly who I was and decided he deserved better.